Disappointing day, wasn't it? Yeah, we were poor. My credit to Carlton. They played well, but we were poor. We looked like we had low energy, and clearly at the moment we're playing with pretty low confidence.
Why do you think that is? Where does that come from?
Well, we've been working on a few things in terms of trying to get that form and confidence back. So we'll keep going and keep trying some different things. And one key thing is, I know, as much as disappointing as today was, and as disappointing as the last 3 or 4 weeks have been, we've got season's still very much alive. We sit at 9-9, and we've now got to go back to the drawing board and come up and get ready for St Kilda next week. Well, we had a plan from a midfield viewpoint to start with, that they were going to sort of group accountability, and then pretty quickly it became obvious he was a significant player in the game, and so we put Sloaney onto him to try and quell his influence, and he did for a little period through probably the second and third. He was less influential, but I think towards the end he's had a massive game. There's no question about that. So it's something we reflect on. The hard part is you go into that space, you become quite reactive around the stoppage. We got badly beaten in the stoppage, and Pat was obviously a significant influence in that space. So it's more, can we quell his influence as much as everything else? But I think he had almost 20 clearances between him. So we'll review that and see how that worked. I mean, I thought Sloaney did okay for a period, but his impact on the game was significant.
What can you do to cool a player like that? It's happened last week with Zach Merritt, this week with Patrick Cripps, where they've just taken control of the period.
Yeah, well, unless we bring in someone particularly to do that. Now we threw up some different options in the coach's box as to what we thought we could do. We probably backed Sloaney in to try and get that done. Probably took away a bit from his game. To his credit, I thought Rory was competitive all day and fought hard to the end. But clearly, Cripps was the main player in the game.
Do you still stand by the Betts decision? He kicked 4 goals in the second.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen or heard the result from the sample. So look, we brought in Tyson. I'm not sure that was going to be the difference in the game, to be honest. Looking at the numbers and looking at the way we played, I'm not sure that the difference between, say, Tyson and Eddie was necessarily going to be the difference. So we'll consider what that looks like for selection next week.
Is it affecting the morale at all, Don?
Don't know. That's something we have to discuss. I don't know whether people perceive that as, meaning everyone's on notice, if you like, and clearly that's not the intention behind the selection decisions. It's more based on what we think is the best team to play and win games of footy. So we'll explore that. We'll explore a lot of things, because as I said today, we just looked like we were down on energy, we were down on confidence, and clearly we're not playing the footy that we're capable of. And so we've got to do some analysis and have some conversations and get ourselves ready for St Kilda, because the season's still alive, and we'll fight on.
Is it difficult to find the balance between potentially impacting that confidence when you do make selection calls and actually putting blokes on notice?
Yeah, and it's not about necessarily putting guys on notice. It's about rewarding those who are in good form, which we did today with the 3 guys who came in, and looking at other guys who maybe we don't think are giving us exactly what we want. So, but they're the conversations we'll have.
When you start with 2 of these 3 goals, the
Yep.
pass that Freddie gets on the board immediately. Yep. The skipper looks like he's really trying to create something forward of centre.
Yep.
Then Petreski-Seaton has that play. It seemed like the game shifted quite quickly.
Yeah.
You guys were looking so good early. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought you're right. I thought we started the game pretty well, and obviously there was a bit of energy about, and it was probably the first couple of times when it went in that we weren't scoring, that they were able to move the ball pretty much to full length.
Yep.
Now that's for us has been a bit of an issue in the last probably month, is our ability to retain the ball in our front half. So we try to do some different things there to give ourselves a better chance of doing that. But again, we'll review that and see what that looks like and what can work for us going forward.
What's been your message to the players in the rooms after that game?
Well, I haven't spoken to them as yet, so we've just had some time actually just having a chat as coach. I've spoken to a couple of individuals, and spoken to our leaders about how they're seeing it. They'll go through recovery, and I'll catch up with them before we get on the bus. I mean, look, clearly everyone in there is disappointed. We came here to win a game of footy and performed poorly and walk away with a loss. That stings, but we need to quickly stay united and quickly get the group back together to tackle St Kilda.
What did you think of your skipper's performance today? Because he really looked like early he was trying.
Yeah, he was up and about early. He was trying. He was presenting at the footy. He kicked. I don't know how many goals he kicked in the end. 3, did he? Yeah. Okay. So, and it was a tough day for forwards for a long period of that. So I'll look at that in review in more detail. But he did some good things. But like a lot of guys, there were times where we didn't have the energy that looked like we're capable of playing with.
First half. Has that been an issue this
Ball
year?
use. Yeah.
was off in the first half. Has been.
Yeah, we missed some really easy ones. Yeah, it was sort of weird. There were some good options to take, and we missed them. As I say, I think that's a bit reflective of, you know, for guys who normally you're back to kick those balls, you know, 9 times out of 10. And I think that's what you see at times when the group's just lacking that little bit of confidence and a little bit of energy, that decision making or execution just drops away. So, as I say, when you see those things, that to me is a bit of a warning sign that guys you normally expect are going to hit kicks and aren't. And a little bit was the pressure of the game, but a little of them they were pretty straightforward kicks. So, as I said, that'll all be in the melting pot.
Did O'Brien come off a bit injured in the last quarter, or
I think he was okay. I
Yep.
think he might have just got a head knock, but I'm not sure, you know, how bad that was. But that was all it looked like.
Can you give us an update on Keith?
Yep.
Yeah, I think you may have said he might miss a couple more weeks, not just.
Yeah, well, he's got that sort of bone stress in his ankle, which we've been managing for about a month now, and the decision was made this week that to push him on for the further 5 weeks was going to be harder and harder, just simply because he's not been able to train. So we'll back him off probably for this week and probably next week, I would think, to give him a chance to give that some healing, and then hopefully we can reload him and get him ready for the last 3 games.
Mind the drop off in the last month in general terms, Dom?
Well, clearly from a numbers viewpoint, it comes down to our contest and our, you know, tonight we got beaten badly, or today we got beaten badly in the contest, and that's been a trend. When we lose in the contest space, our ability to actually win games of footy is challenged, and, you know, we're not able to sustain that for long enough, and that's what we're working really hard behind the scenes going, well, you know, we've tried a few different things, we did some different training methods, we've tried some other things, so we'll again engage with our group, look through it and go, what can we do differently this week to give ourselves a chance to come out and play far better that we need to do against St Kilda.
When you say it's a contest thing, is that effort? Is it system? What do you put
Well, we look at system in terms of our numbers around there, and at times it's system at the ball, ahead of the ball, behind the ball. So it's all sort of encompassed. I think our effort in the second half today was okay. But we met an opposition that had slightly higher and worked harder than we did. So, and some of it's at the actual source in terms of the clearance. And tonight, I think the numbers were, I think we're minus 20 odd in clearances. So we clearly lost some field position based out of that. And sometimes it's at the next contest. So we'll look at that, look at our capacity to do it better.
It might be hard to answer, but Eddie Betts obviously be in contention for selection next week.
Yeah, I haven't heard a report today from how Eddie played, but hopefully he's gone back and he's played the sort of way he's capable of playing, and he's done the things that we need him to look at. And yeah, I'd expect that based on today's performance, there might be a few guys who are in line for selection. Thanks, guys. Cheers.